Alright guys, I'm back for my winter forecast number 2. It's early to mid-October now. We have less than a couple months so we can actually forecast for winter storms, which I'm getting pretty excited for. But that leads me to my second update. Some of the factors that are leading to this forecast: AO, PNA, NAO, EPO, and ENSO. And throughout this presentation, I'll just talk about their stages right now and in the future. Starting off with the Arctic Oscillation, the AO. It is slightly negative to almost neutral, and in those conditions, which I'm forecasting for the winter, for it to be negative, I would expect colder conditions in the east. And if, just say, it wasn't negative and it would be positive, there would just be warming in the eastern United States. And when it's basically what this does is when it's more negative, the colder the United States is, especially in the east, and the less or the more positive it is, the less the cold air reaches the United States and stays up in Canada and more northern areas than that. Next, the PNA, the Pacific North American. Right now it's negative, but it's going into positive. And this is all these maps I'm showing you are the GFS, or GEFS, using the weather bell. Now with a positive PNA, we can get ridging out the west and a dip in the jet stream in the east, creating more cold air. And the jet stream going like this, and depending on if we have a negative NAO, we can get a Greenland block. Now the NAO right now is slightly negative, but I'm expecting this to go from back and forth between positive and negative throughout the winter. But I'm leaning on that it's going to stay negative for the majority of the winter. So I'm ruling right now that it's going to be negative NAO. And with that in mind, when it's negative, basically you can get cold air in the eastern United States with this. This is what is the main factor in the NAO with the blocking here, which would be good for nor'easters when they come up the east coast. Be able to slow it down and not have it go out to sea. And then the EPO is going to be slightly, I'm calling for slightly positive right now. This will lead to less ridging at times in the west, creating making the jet stream go from more like central California instead of the upper, like towards Seattle and areas over there. Now, when we have an average neutral ENSO, well, this is an average neutral ENSO, and that's what I'm predicting for the winter. Instead of El Nino or La Nina, it's in between, so I'm going to call for a neutral. And the average cases between 1961 and 2000 led to wet conditions in places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and southeastern United States, with cold air coming in from Canada and the Midwest and towards the Northeast, with jet streams coming in like that. Now, this will lead into my winter forecast, and this is the temperature map coming up. Again, colder conditions in the upper Midwest, especially around the Great Lakes area, Chicago, Minneapolis, Green Bay, Detroit, Columbus, Ohio. Areas like that are going to be a lot colder than usual. And then upper Midwest and areas in the lighter blue are they're going to be colder, but not as cold as the Great Lakes region. They might only be like a degree or two below average. And the areas in the yellow will be around average, with maybe a few days where it's below average by a few degrees or so. And then in the orange, these areas can be expect warmer conditions than they're used to be, with maybe just less cool days than warm. So then we have my snowfall map, which in the east, the upper northeast in Maine, and northern Vermont and New Hampshire, and extreme northern New York. Expect average conditions, like average snowfall. Areas more southern northeast and upper mid Atlantic expect slightly above average snowfall. And my like jackpot area, I believe, is going to be right around the Great Lakes near Chicago. I think they're in for a good winter. And now southeast, well, southern mid Atlantic, and these areas, these states too, expect near normal snowfall, with maybe one or two big snowstorms that will equal their average snowfall. So then near Denver, Colorado, and Idaho, and eastern Nevada, those places they can expect slightly above average snowfall. That's what I'm calling for right now. Now the southern states are going to be below average snowfall, and also near Portland, Oregon, and just south of Seattle are going to be below average, where I just don't feel that the jet stream will be in favor for them, for storms, for winter, colder storms to happen. Now my overall forecast for this winter: an extreme northeastern United States, you expect colder conditions, but just average snow, while the mid-Atlantic and southern northeast will be slightly colder with snowy conditions. Now southern mid-Atlantic, that's where my winter battle zone is, where they're going to be on the edge between snow, ice, and rain. So a lot of sloppy storms with colder spells in the mix. And then the Midwest Great Lakes region will be very cold and often snowy. Be or much above average with snowfall. So people in Chicago, Indiana, Michigan, this is going to be your winter, I believe. In upper Midwest, in the blue region, it's going to be very cold with snowy conditions. The blue region here is Denver, Colorado, and Idaho, and Nevada are going to see normal temperatures with snowy conditions, though. And then areas in the gray would experience their average winter with cold shots in the around Kansas and places like that. And then in the southern states will be warm with less snow and rain. Majority of these places don't even see snow anyways. In the yellow, it'll be warmer, but they'll still see their average snowfall and rain. In the pink, they'll have normal temperatures, but below average snowfall and precipitation. And then Seattle, they're in for a wet winter. So that doesn't mean snow, but they'll see rain, I believe. I mean, they'll have a little bit of snow, but majority will be rain. Alright, guys. My final forecast for this winter will be in about a month. So probably around mid-November-ish. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this forecast. I'll talk to you then. Alright, bye.